Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
Sweet tea may be the beverage of choice in North Carolina, but it's not the only thing brewing in the Tar Heel State these days. We're heading to the Currituck Outer Banks to see what's on tap at the oldest microbrewery in the state. It's what's cooking next in FlavorNC.
FlavorNC was made possible by Got to Be NC Agriculture, the official state identity program for products grown and processed by farmers and value-added food companies in North Carolina. When you want the best, it's got to be NC. The Currituck County Department of Travel and Tourism. The Currituck County Outer Banks. More value, more excitement, more than you imagined. Additional support was provided by the following.
There's no Main Street, no zip code, and you won't find it on a map. But our place is just as real as every mouth-watering morsel grown, raised, or harvested in North Carolina. Welcome to FlavorNC, the heart and soul of local food. People have been quenching their thirst with beer for thousands of years. It's one of the oldest beverages in the world. Some people even rank the invention of beer right alongside that of bread as the foundation upon which ancient civilization was built. And you know that old rhyme, water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink? Well, that was definitely the case in the Middle Ages. It was much safer to drink beer than the water. And speaking of water, when man took to the sea, he took beer along for the ride. Beer and the beach just somehow seem to go together. Maybe that's why North Carolina's oldest microbrewery decided to set up shop here on the Outer Banks 25 years ago. Most of us think of beautiful beaches and wild horses when we think of Currituck County. Tucked up against the Virginia border, Currituck is divided into three distinct parts by Currituck Sound. The Currituck Outer Banks are legendary for their stunning beaches and for the herd of wild horses that roam free among the sand dunes and vacation homes. The narrow banks are sandwiched between the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the waters of Currituck Sound on the other. Once among the busiest waters in the state, today the Sound is a place of tranquil beauty, its surface dotted with duck blinds. Then there's the Knott's Island Peninsula and the Mackey Island National Wildlife Refuge. It's a place so beautiful, it almost defies description. And finally, the Currituck mainland with its beautiful Soundside marshes and wide farm fields. Nestled among those farm fields, something new has sprouted in recent years, the Weeping Radish Farm Brewery. Weeping Radish first began producing beer in Manio in 1986. After 20 years, owner Uli Benowitz made the decision to relocate just up the road to Currituck County. The Weeping Radish regularly produces 5 different types of beer, but the move to Currituck County gave Uli the chance to expand his vision beyond the brewery.
It's kind of a labor of love, and it's in progress. It's not finished.
The Weeping Radish is now a natural foods complex of sorts. It's made up of the brewery, an organic farm where byproducts from the beer-making process fertilize the fields, and an all-natural butchery. That's where Master Butcher Frank Musil creates award-winning sausages and pâtés, both for the Weeping Radish and for beef and hog growers around the state. It all comes together in the Weeping Radish Pub, where you can enjoy the German-style beer, the sausages, and the fresh, homegrown produce. That's where Uli and I sat down to talk about his commitment to creating products not only made in North Carolina, but made up of ingredients from North Carolina, something that's not always easy to do.
The beer making process is tough because obviously until now there was no North Carolina hops and there still is no North Carolina malt. So we started off now 25 years ago with ingredients mostly from Europe. But things are changing. North Carolina has got their first small hops farms. So we are beginning now with local hops and hopefully local malt will soon follow. So the goal is clearly to have an all North Carolina beer made from all North Carolina ingredients. That's our goal.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
It's coming.
It's
I
coming.
promise you
I
it's
can't
coming.
wait. I can't wait. The first step on that road is a new beer Uli is now brewing using those North Carolina grown hops. As brewmaster Nick Williams explained to me, it all starts with just two things, water and grain. All right, Nick, the brewmaster, tell me about this process of making the fabulous beer.
Well, the first part of this process is called mashing in, which is where we're at right now. It's where we add grain to filtered water, and it actually releases the sugar from the grain, and that's what we use to ferment the beer into alcohol.
Okay, so you just, now I'm gonna scoop it in.
Yeah, just grab a scoop and toss it right in there. There you go. And then after that process, we start stirring it up.
And how long is it in this?
It starts in this for about 45 minutes. Then it goes into what we call recirculation, and we recirculate the wort that's going to be made into beer. We recirculate it over itself for about 20-30 minutes, and that really brings out some clarity in the beer. Takes a lot of the grainy flavor out of the beer and just gets it ready to be boiled into beer.
Okay, well, it's looking good to me.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to try it, give it a stir. It's a kind of a big paddle. It's a lot bigger than you are.
Oh my goodness gracious! You weren't kidding.
And that just right now the grains are just kind of soaking up the hot water. We have it at a very specific temperature, and that really releases the most sugar out of the grain.
All right, looks good. After the mashing in process, the liquid, now called the wort, is boiled and the hops added. While the wort is boiling, all that spent grain has to be shoveled out of the tank. Thank goodness Nick didn't ask me to help with that. And if you're wondering what happens to all that leftover grain, well, that's an interesting story in and of itself. It ends up here, tilled into the soil as fertilizer for soon-to-be planted tomatoes, making this, as Uli likes to say, the first real beer garden in North Carolina. Back in the brewery, it's time for the next step in the process. Okay, Nick, are all these big barrels full of beer?
These are all full of up to 20 barrels of beer. That's 640 gallons of beer at a time.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What's happening in the barrels?
Right now we're undergoing primary fermentation. This is the first chance that we put yeast with the wort that we just cooked earlier today, and the yeast actually ferments the sugar in the wort into alcohol, and that's what gives it beer. And it starts a very slow carbonation process.
Okay.
Carbonation being the bubbles in the beer.
I got you. And then, okay, what is this?
These are whole cone hops. These are grown in Weaverville, North Carolina,
They
right
smell,
outside
right?
Asheville. Yeah, they do, a little fruity. And for our IPA 25, we actually use these straight into the primary fermentation tanks, and that just gives it a little bit more of a hoppy punch, a little bit more bitterness, kind of a fruity flavor and aroma.
That's what makes this beer different. One, you're using North Carolina hops, and two, you put them in at the end instead of in like process 2. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Normally it would go in during the boil, and then now we're putting them in at the end. And they'll just go in, and it's really just steeps just like a tea bag. It's called dry hopping.
Okay, and then after it's done in these barrels, is that it? You ready to bottle or what?
After it's done in here, we ship it into the cold room where it continues a secondary, slower fermentation for another 3 weeks.
Oh.
At that point, after the 3 weeks is over and it's been filtered, then it's ready to bottle.
Once it gets to the bottling line, the beer is pumped into sanitized bottles, loaded into cartons, and soon ready to be shipped on its way. Nothing goes better with beer than brats or sausages or hot dogs or sweet potato pate for that matter. All those things are also created right here at the Weeping Radish in an innovative partnership between the brewer, the butcher, and the farmer. Small beef and hog operations from all over North Carolina ship their meat here to the Weeping Radish Butchery. Master butcher Frank Musil then turns each grower's meat into personalized sausages, pâtés, and all sorts of tasty things.
We literally shipped in a German master butcher with his equipment. And that helps local farmers, because what we do is we take all their meats from their small farms, either cull cows, sows, anything, or meats that they couldn't sell as fresh meats, and we turn them into pastrami, prosciutto, hot dogs, brats, and then put the farmer's logo back on it and give it back to the farmer. Now he can go to his own farmer's market and he can sell his own value-added cooked and smoked products directly at the farmer's market, instead of selling just hamburger meat.
Right, you're helping him use the entire animal.
Exactly, there is nothing wasted, and I keep telling farmers, don't waste anything. Give it to us, we'll add value to it and give it back to you. And it's really it really has worked very well. I mean, we've got now 18 farmers in North Carolina alone, and we literally do a run. We take our truck, we deliver, and then we pick up at the same time, bring it back here. So you can go to farmers markets literally from the Raleigh area all the way to Asheville, and you'll probably find sausages that we have made in the name of different farms at these farmers markets.
The meat first goes into an emulsifier where Frank adds a specific blend of spices. But there's more to the butcher's art, and make no mistake, it is an art than just measuring ingredients. It's a matter of experience and something intangible. As Frank says, the key to crafting good sausage lies in the butcher's heart and the love of his art. And it doesn't hurt to know how to operate a sausage stuffing machine either. Uli, I'm fascinated by what they're doing. Tell me what's going on.
Well, this is Frank and Maria. We are doing a garlic andouille today.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful sausage. So once we have gone through the emulsion process, now we're doing the sausage stuffing, so to speak. And then from here, after this is done, it goes on the rack over there. And after that rack, it goes into the smokehouse. Sausage stuffing really allows you, it's a form of preservation. Instead of having raw meat, it allows you to preserve the meat in a sealed unit, and therefore it doesn't spoil.
Okay, and this is a special blend that y'all make here.
Yes, that's a very special blend. All these recipes come from Germany for these products. This is a joint venture with a German master butcher, and they have been in business for 300 or close to 300 years doing this in their family tradition going back. So it's a very, very old tradition of sausage making that goes on.
Okay, well, let's check out the smoke room.
Okay, move on.
Uli, look at those beautiful sausages. Now, they're being wheeled into the smoker, is that right?
That's correct. That is the heart of the operation as far as the butchery goes.
Tell me about this process. What's this machine do?
This is a smoker that actually is made in North Carolina, and it cooks, it steams, it smokes, and it showers.
Does it give it any flavor?
Yes, because we have wood chips. These are hickory wood chips. We get them from the Virginia-North Carolina border, and we literally drive to the farm and pick them up, and they go into the machine, and then initially they're dried, then they are cooked, and then the smoke is added to it.
Okay, now how long do the sausages stay in here?
About an hour and a half. It's fully computer controlled, and you have to have steam, by the way. Without the steam, the sausages will pop.
Okay.
So you can't just heat it with regular gas, you've got to have steam to heat them.
Does it just do sausages, or does it also do...
It does bacon, ham, everything we do goes into this machine.
Anything you need, okay. Yeah. How do you know when the sausage is done?
Oh, we have a computer program, and it beeps at you, believe me, yes.
Well, I can't wait to try these delicious looking sausages.
We're going to get to that soon.
Soon couldn't come soon enough for all the folks who gathered at the Weeping Radish to help celebrate the brewery's 25th anniversary and the Butchery's National Food Award for its North Carolina pork and sweet potato pâté. Finally, Butcher Frank and the smoker had worked their magic, and it was time to eat. Believe you me, I couldn't wait for my chance to get into the kitchen with Weeping Radish chef Michael Jacobson and sample some of his signature recipes. All right, Michael, that food was fabulous last night at the party. What are we making?
We're gonna make black radish barbecue sauce. Start with a little bit of oil in here. We're gonna add the onions. get a little color on them.
Okay.
You can give it a little stir. So we've got some nice color on the onions. We caramelized them for a couple minutes. We're going to add vinegar to it. That's going to bring some of the flavor off the bottom. We're going to add our black radish beer.
So this is a really dark beer you're using.
This is a dark German lager. It's a Schwarz beer.
Okay. Michael, a lot of people are intimidated by barbecue sauce or making them, but this seems pretty basic, simple.
It's pretty easy. As long as you use quality ingredients, it's tough to go wrong.
Okay.
So I've got the beer and the cider vinegar in there. We're going to dissolve the sugar. Takes about a minute or so.
I gotcha.
We're going to add molasses to it.
Ooh, now there's nothing like some molasses.
Little blackstrap never hurt anybody. Gives a little color, helps with the body.
Okay, thickens it up.
And some flavor, the sweetness of it. We're going to add the ketchup to it.
Well, that's so simple, I think even I can make it when I get home.
I bet you could. That's it. We just mix it all together and let it cook for about 20 minutes.
And I'll tell you, that was one long 20 minutes. The wonderful scent of this barbecue sauce simmering was making us all crazy waiting to get a taste of it. Oh, Michael, this homemade barbecue sauce smells fabulous. It's done and ready. And what are we mixing it in?
We're mixing it with some pulled pork that I smoked with hickory and pecan.
Mm-hmm. And what is the creation you've made with it?
We have pulled pork nachos.
Oh, creative.
With black beans, and we're just gonna put some green onions on top. A little bit of more cheese. And some diced tomatoes on top.
All right, I'm gonna dig in.
Okay.
Sweet, tangy. I'm making this barbecue sauce for my husband.
Sounds good. Lisa, we're gonna make some sweet onion chow chow.
Ooh.
We have tarragon vinegar, brown sugar, diced onion, diced red pepper. We use curry powder and a little mustard.
Okay.
seed.
So we got the vinegar in the pan. We're adding the brown sugar.
We're gonna add the
Let me
brown
stir.
sugar, give it a little stir.
Okay.
We're gonna dissolve that. Takes a minute or so. We're gonna let that dissolve. We're gonna add the onion to it
Okay.
and the red pepper. Give that a little stir. When that comes up, it's starting to come up right now. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of curry powder. A little more. And about a tablespoon of mustard seed.
Ooh.
That's it. We let that come up to a boil and turn it off and let it cool down in its own liquid. Strain
We got
it.
homemade chow chow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. We let that magical mixture of onion, sugar, vinegar, and spices boil, then cool, and before you know it, Michael was ready to serve it up.
Okay, here's our finished chow chow.
That is beautiful. I love the color.
We're going to serve it on the award-winning sweet potato liverwurst. We're just going to take a little tiny bit here.
So this is how you normally serve it at the Weeping Radish?
We do. We usually put it on the side for people can choose how much they want on their liverwurst.
That's a beautiful presentation. I'm gonna try one.
Give it a shot.
That chow chow is sweet and tangy all in one.
It is.
And okay, I give the pate an award.
Okay.
Delicious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Michael, I see butter beans, and I'm a Southern gal. I love me some butter beans, but I'm seeing some unusual ingredients. Tell me what we're making.
We're gonna do Southern-style butter beans with a twist. I use parsnip in there.
Ooh. And what does the parsnip do?
Parsnip gives a little savory flavor.
Okay, what's that?
We're gonna start with some Weeping Radish nitrate-free bacon. And we're gonna render that for a little bit.
So you're just kind of cooking it down so you can get the little bit of the fat off
A
of
little
it?
bit of the fat off, get a little color on it. Just leave some flavor in the pan, so it gives the butter beans a lot of flavor.
Okay. So are you going to leave this bacon in with the butter beans?
We are going to leave the bacon in with the butter beans. We're going to just spread that out a little bit.
I'm sorry. Teach me.
It's okay, spread it out. You don't want it to really steam itself. You kind of want it to render in there.
I was worried about it sticking.
It'll come off there, no problem. Give that about a minute or so. And it's been about a minute or so. We're going to move the bacon to one side.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we're going to put the parsnip in. I've peeled them, cut them in half. We're going to put the flat side down.
Oh. Okay.
And get a little color on those.
What does the parsnip do to this dish?
I believe the parsnip gives it a little bit of a savory flavor.
Okay.
So we got a little color on them. I'm just going to flip them over here with the spoon, of course.
Yeah, they're pretty.
And add the onions in.
Okay, some diced up onions.
Diced up onions. We'll let those cook for about a minute.
Till they're translucent?
No, just till they have, they start to sweat a little bit and have a little bit of color on them.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna add the butter beans to it. These are actually North Carolina butter beans. We bought them last year and frozen. They freeze pretty well.
Okay.
It's in there. Give it a little stir, and then we're gonna pour the stock in.
Is this chicken stock, vegetable stock?
This is chicken stock. You can use water.
Okay. And then we just let them cook down?
That's it. Bring it up to a boil. Cover it. Turn it on. Turn it down to a simmer.
All right.
And they take about 20 minutes.
Looks good. Can't wait to try. And I got my chance to savor these little green gems when Michael showed me a great new way to enjoy North Carolina butter beans. Michael, I love some butter beans and I could eat that whole bowl, but you're going to show me another recipe using those.
We're going to do freshwater prawns, garlic andouille, and a butter bean succotash.
Okay.
I've got some bacon grease in here. We're going to add the prawns in.
Okay. All right, now Michael, tell me about these prawns.
Freshwater prawns, they come from Co-op in eastern North Carolina.
Ah, local.
They're in the shrimp family, but they have more of a flavor of lobster.
Ooh, I like some lobster.
I like lobster
Okay.
too.
And we're going to cook them until they're...
We're going to cook them, get a little color on each side. Okay, so we've added our shrimp. We're going to add some onions in there. Let them cook a little bit. Just a couple seconds.
Okay.
Bacon grease nice and hot. We're going to add the garlic andouille, which is house made.
That's fresh.
It is fresh. Give that a little stir.
Okay. Cooking your onions till they're caramelized or translucent?
Just kind of a little caramel on them. I don't want them to be too hard, but I want you to be able to taste the onion.
Okay.
And we're going to add the butter beans.
That already have lots of flavor.
We have bacon, onion, the savoriness from the parsnip.
You know, I always thought succotash was butter beans and corn mixed.
Corn, succotash is pretty much a bean thing. It can have corn or hominy in it. This time of year, we have the butter beans. We bought them last year and froze them. They're local and they freeze really well, so that's what we went with. We're going to add some butter to it.
I don't know about you, but fresh and local, it makes a difference in the way it tastes.
It really does make a difference in the way it tastes. We're gonna let this cook for a second.
Season it with a little salt and pepper for flavor, and add some good old heirloom tomatoes for color, and get ready to try one of the best things you've ever tasted.
Lisa, this is a great one-dish meal.
Looks delicious, colorful. It really was easy.
It was. Cooking is not hard.
Looks good. I'm gonna give it a try. That is fantastic. That's just Southern happiness in a bowl. Thanks for having me to the Weeping Radish.
You're welcome.
I had a great time. I've learned a lot.
Good.
The great food and drink being produced at the Weeping Radish may not be traditional Southern cooking, but it sure is mouth-wateringly tasty. According to Bob here, whoever would have thought in North Carolina, where sweet tea reigns supreme and pork usually means barbecue, a little piece of German culinary tradition would survive and thrive for more than 25 years. It just goes to show what a little creativity and a lot of hard work will do for you. I'm Lisa Prince, and I'll see you next time right here in FlavorNC. To see today's recipes or for more information on local food and farmers markets in your area, visit FlavorNC.com.
FlavorNC was made possible by Got to Be NC Agriculture, the official state identity program for products grown and processed by farmers and value-added food companies in North Carolina. When you want the best, it's got to be NC. The Currituck County Department of Travel and Tourism. The Currituck County Outer Banks. More value, more excitement, more than you imagined. Additional support was provided by the following.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.